Hey guys, this is Diane here from The Design Creative. I'm so excited right now. If I get any more excited, I will probably impregnate myself, and I honestly don't want any more kids. This tutorial today is a really exciting one because something got released last night that caused quite a stir within the Headway community. Well, not just within the Headway community, but within the WordPress community. Yesterday, Elegant Themes released a plugin called Divi Builder. Now, some of you may already know about Divi. I use Divi, I use Headway, and I use Divi, and I love them both. But there was always something about Divi that I thought, I wish that I could kind of make Divi a part of Headway, and there was always a part of Headway that I thought I wish I could make Headway a part of Divi. My dreams have been answered. Elegant Themes have released a plugin that now allows you to get all the functionality and niceness of the theme and to install it onto anything that you want. So basically, it's got the theme and packaged it as a plugin which you can now use on anything that you like. And that to me is just freaking fantastic. So why would you use Divi Builder and why would you use Headways? Let me give you the pros and cons about it from what I've seen so far. The pros about using Headway over Divi is that you have much more finer control over the layout of your site. Not only that, you also have much more finer control over the CSS that goes on your site. And it's just a friggin' excellent program. Like, my whole channel is near enough dedicated to Headway. So if you don't know Headway, you don't understand it, have a look at maybe my Headway review video, have a look at some of my other videos to really get a grasp about what this theme is. Other pros about using Headway over Divi is that with Divi, you're kind of limited to how their header and their footer looks. And I can basically go on a number of different sites and say, yeah, that was made with Divi, simply by looking at the header and the footer, because they are quite limited. With Headway, you can have a header wherever you want, and now they have got the use of a sticky wrapper, so then I can choose to have a navigation anywhere within the page, and I can choose to have that stick to the top of the page once a user scrolls down to it. With Divi, it's a lot more complicated because they have a structure of how the header is going to go, and you don't always want that. What's the pros about using Divi over Headway? The pros about using Divi over Headway is that Divi is quick. Divi, you don't really have to think too much about where you're going to put things. So for instance, I want a navigation, I want a slider, and I want a feature section with an image. You can do that easily within Headway, but within Divi, it's like 20 times faster. You don't have to worry about spacing. You don't have to worry about, is this going to be responsive or not, because the plugin is automatically responsive. You can have columns, so you can have 2 columns, 3 columns, you can have full width, you can have a standard width. It basically allows you to create things on the fly really quickly. Another positive about using Divi over Headway is that with Headway, if you have like a slider, or you have a text box, or you have some type of block within Headway that you hand over to your clients, and they're like, well, how do I update the slider? And then you have to explain to them, okay, well, you need to go to the back end of Headway, don't touch this though, but you can touch this, and you add this, and blah 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 blah, and it can become a little bit complicated. With Divi, because Divi actually is inside WordPress, the WordPress editor, it makes it so much more easier for your clients to update. So things like sliders and stuff like that is just easy. They can just go into the page that they need to go into, press the module, insert their images, and voila, it's done. If they mess up, then they have like a version history, so they can just go back to when they didn't mess up. It's really simple. It's a bit like snapshots within Headway. Another reason why I would choose Divi over Headway is because it has so much more modules. So within Headway, we have blocks, right? But within Divi, they have modules, and they have so much more. So they've got like an email opt-in, they've got like an accordion, they've got a slider, they've got a contact form, they've got a FAQ FAQ module, they've got a custom code module, they've got about 30 modules that we can use, and they are super handy. You don't have to download like 1,000,001 plugins to get most of the functionality that you've got within this Divi. So now we've got Divi and now we've got Headway. It just works, and I'm so happy that Divi or Elegant Theme has made this shift. So this tutorial is basically showing you how to marry the two together to get a perfect combination of your ideal website. Okay, so one of the first things you need to do is head over to Elegant Themes. The link is in the description below, and you need to download the plugin. So first of all, we come over to here, press join to download, and we want to buy the developer license because the developer license gives us access to all of the plugins, and the Divi Builder is a plugin. Okay, so once we've done that, again, like I said, the link is in the description below. Once we've done that, we want to download the plugin to our desktop. Now, if you are not a Headway user, but you are intrigued about how to use Headway, I would say the first thing for you to do is to maybe just try it out, okay, first before you buy it, or you can have a look at the other videos that I've created and you can see the back end of what Headway looks like. But if you don't want to go through all of that, you are convinced that Headway is the one for you, which, to be honest, you will be convinced, then just head over to headwaythemes.com and you can download Headway from there. Okay, again, the link is in the description below because I know some of you are lazy. So this tutorial is not going to show you how to use Headway, okay, because I'm going to assume that you are already a viewer of Headway, so you already have a rough idea about what Headway is about. I've already installed Headway, as you can see, and I've installed the Divi plugin, the Divi Builder plugin. Now what you will notice when you first install it is that it gives you a custom post type called projects, and the reason why is because it has a module that has a portfolio module in there, so you could display, like, you know, a really nice gallery of any projects or whatever that you do. So that's one of the first things that you would see. Now I have already gone into Headway. I'm going to go into Headway now to show you what I have done to create just a general layout for my home page. So I have a wrapper up here with a header, which is my logo, and a navigation, which is obviously where my navigation is, and I have another wrapper which is full width grid and a full width wrapper, and it has a content block within that wrapper, and at the bottom I just have a footer. Now if we have a look at the design editor, what you will notice is that we have our navigation here and we have our footer down here, but the wrapper in which the content block is held, you will see all the padding is taken out of this wrapper, because you know with Headway we have a 15 pixel padding within our wrappers, so this is taking it out of the content block. Okay, this just makes it easier for when we use Divi and we want to make things full width. We're not going to have that white border around the sides of our page. Okay, so as you can see here, we have our navigation, and everything seems to be responsive, as you can see. Okay, so now let's edit this page to make it look how we want it to. I'm going to click on edit page, and here usually it will show us this. It will show our usual box here with the editor, but then it will have a purple button that says use the Divi Builder. So I'm going to click to use this builder, and it shows us the Divi dashboard, so to speak. Now this particular section here is highlighted in blue, and this shows that it's a standard section. You can add different sections, so I can add a full width section here and that changes to purple, or I can add a speciality section and that changes to, I think it's like a pinky kind of color, a corally kind of color. Okay, so speciality sections are sections where you might have different types of like it'll be a weirder layout, so you might have a column on one side, you may have two columns on another side, etc, etc. For now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a full width slider. So I'm going to get rid of these by just clicking the X at the bottom, and I'm going to keep this full width section here. And here we have a button that says insert module. If I click that, it gives us 8 different modules that we could use within the full width section. So we could use a full width code, and I suppose with that we can add our short codes if we want to. If we have like a separate I don't know, maybe a separate slider that we might want to use, we can use the short codes in here. We have a full width header, we have a full width image, a map, menu, portfolio, post title, or a slider. So I'm going to go for, I said a slider, but you know what, I'm going to go for a full width header instead. So we click that, and then it brings us to the settings of that header. So here I can put in a title. I'm going to put in the design creative, and here I can put in a subtitle. So I'm going to put Diane Laidlaw. The text color, we're going to keep that light, and we can have the orientation to be center, and we can make this full screen. Okay, so I'm going to click to make that full screen. And of course, if it's going to be full screen, we might want to show an arrow to say yes, you know, bring us to, there's more stuff underneath this. Here we have a button text, so I can put view my portfolio, and the URL, I'm just going to put some random URL in there. Okay, so the background image, I'm going to use an image that I have already installed, and you can use a background overlay color. So if this makes basically too much, we can use a background overlay color to darken it out a bit. So I'm going to use like a black or something. I'm going to bring down the transparency of it. We can also choose a parallax effect, and we've got different parallax methods. So we got CSS, or we got true parallax. I'm going to turn that off for now. I'm going to keep everything the same. As you can see, there's loads of different options here, and there's also advanced. If you look at the top, we have general settings, advanced design settings. So here we can choose things like font colors and stuff like that, and also we have custom CSS. So let's press save and exit for now, and let's update. And if we press view page, we could see that we now have a full width banner. So let's add some more stuff to this page. So I want a standard section, and I want 2 columns. And then the first column, I want to add an image. So here's all the modules that I was talking to you about before. I'm going to add an image. I'm going to choose an image from my media library. I can add animation. I can make this image open up in a light box if I need to. And I can center it. Again, let me just press save and exit and update. Let's go back here and refresh. And as we scroll down, you can see our image comes in. So now let's go back into here, and say if I want to add a text module. Let me see, where's the text module? It's down here. And I can add some custom CSS in there. So let's paste that in there and press save, and let's update. And let's refresh. And now we have our content there. Let's say if we want to add a call to action, I can now add another call to action here with the call to action module, and I can have it open up wherever I need it to open up. Choose this button. I'm going to get rid of the background color. Now this is version 1.0. There are a couple of bugs in it from what I can see. Number one, for instance, if this button in the middle is a preview button, and usually when you select it, you're able to see what's going on. But for some weird reason, I can't see anything. Let me try the dark. And let's see, it's not showing up anything. So let me just press save and exit. You can as well right click on the section and press the preview, and it's still not showing up properly, so never mind about that. I think maybe in the next version it would show us properly the preview of the whole section. Let me just refresh, and now we have a button here, okay, which we can stylize and everything. So let me add another section. Let's say we're going to add another standard section, but we're going to have 4 bits underneath here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to duplicate this image. I'm going to drag that down here. So this is like a true drag and drop here. You can see how easy things are. They're super easy. So let me just use a text block. I'm going to duplicate that a couple of times, and I'm going to drag these down here as well. So this is really easy for our clients to use because, you know, it's kind of idiot proof in some ways. So let me just refresh this, and as we scroll down we have our 4 images. Now say if I want a background color to this area, so it kind of separates it, what we can do is we can click on here on where it says settings, or it doesn't say that, but it's got that marker there. We can click on there and it gives you the settings for this particular wrapper or this particular section. So I could use a color here, so I'm going to use this green. Let's press save and exit, and let's update, and if we refresh it we now have a green background here. Okay, so this thing is super handy, right? Let's say we want to change the color of the text in here. We can change it here to light, or we can go to the advanced design settings and we can change the color there also. Okay, I'm going to choose maybe an orange. Let's press save and update that, and let's refresh and see what we've got. As you can see, we've got that orange there. So I'm going to change this background color to a more darker color. So I'm going to go for black. I'm going to press update, and I'm going to get rid of these text boxes here, and I'm going to duplicate these and just throw them in here. So I have got my 4 sections here. Now really this is a standard section and this is a standard section. I don't really need to make another standard section just to put in another row. Like these boxes here, this green box here is what you call a row. I can actually move this row up into this section here. Problem is this is going to tell me it needs a row, so let me see, I'm going to add a blank row in there and I'm going to move this up here. Okay, I'm going to delete this. So how do we add more rows within one section? So underneath we have a button here that says add row. We can click on that and then we can choose to add another row if we need to, right? So I'm going to insert now a blah blah blah. Let's say we're going to insert an accordion, and within the accordion I'm going to add a new item. I'm going to call it this is an accordion, if I can spell it, and I'm going to put in some text in here, and I'm going to press save, and I'm going to duplicate this a couple times, and let's press save and let's update. And now when we refresh, we have an accordion here, and we have an accordion here, an accordion here, an accordion here. All right. Say if I no longer want this section or this row to be one column, I can change it so now it becomes 2 columns instead, and I can do that by pressing this icon here, which allows me to change the settings of, let's say if I want it to be in 3 sections, and now I've got an accordion here, and I can insert 2 extra modules here if I want to. I'm just going to duplicate an image and I'm going to drag that in there like that. Okay, so let me press update and let me refresh, and now we have an accordion and we have our images on the side. So this is pretty cool, right? And it's quick. It's really quick. So let's have a look at another section. Let's say we want another full width section, but we want a map. Here we can add a map. So I'm going to put down 60 Fairfield Road. which is in the USA. We're going to press save, and let's update that. And as we refresh and we scroll down, we've now got a full width map in there. Okay, so now we've got everything how we want it to be. What we can do is go back to edit page, and we can save this layout as a layout that we might want to use on another page. So I can click here where it says save to library, and I can just call this home page, and click save and update. And what you will notice is that when you install Divi, you have a Divi panel here. If you click on Divi library, you're able to see, I've actually saved one called homepage ages ago, so let me just delete that one actually. But I've got one here which is called homepage, and I can go back to this and edit it however I feel, like however I want to. The library is not just for layouts. You can also have sections or modules which you can also save to the library. So for instance, this full width header, if I want this full width header to be on every other page, I can but I don't want to keep adding it and adding all the settings and adding the image again and adding this and that again. What I can do is click on the settings, and here, where is it now? I don't think I can do it in here. I'll have to go into the actual page, I think. So let me go into the home page, and if I click on the settings, here we have the option where it says save and add to library. So I can click that, and I can call this one, let's say call this top header or something like that. Now here it says make this a global item. So basically, if this item, I don't want anything to change, like I don't want the image to change, I don't want the text to change, I want everything to stay the same, then I can click this button, and basically when I press save and add to library, anytime I upload this full width header, it's going to be the same on every single page. Now if I don't click that button, right, let's say if I go if I add if I didn't click that button, then basically what would happen is I would still be able to clone that module in other pages, but I would be able to change things like the image or the text, and it won't affect the rest of the other versions of it on other pages. When you make something global, it basically affects the changes all round. Okay, so it's a bit like when you mirror a wrapper or you mirror a block. If you make a change, then it does it for all the other blocks which are underneath that. Okay, so that is a really useful feature to have. Now I'm going to clear this layout, and I'm going to show you that Divi has their own pre-made layouts as well. So if you don't want to sit there and try to work out stuff, you can just basically get inspired by the pre-made layouts that they have, and you can do so where it says here, where it says load from library. I can click that and I can choose any of these kind of pages here. So I'm going to go for the home page, let's say company, and let's load that, and it loads. Here we go, a nice little idea of what the home page is going to look like. And what we can do is press update, and let's have a look and see what this page looks like. So here we have our company. You could see we have a little starter package here where we can just go in and change and add things wherever we need to. Okay, say if I don't actually like what I've done here, I can press this version control, and I think I can refresh it. I don't think this is working that well either, which is a shame. But if it's not working, then we can just use the revisions within WordPress to change it. I think they'll probably update that, but basically you're able to press this button and it shows you everything that you've done. So it says you added a block here, you deleted a module here, you added a section here, you cleared the layout, and you're able to basically go through and, you know, revert back to your old changes. If you can't do that, then just use the revisions button on the top instead. So let's update that. Let me see if I made any changes. I don't think I did. So let me talk to you about the portfolio or the project section. The project section is basically just a custom post type that you can use. So I'm going to add a new project. I'm going to call it Funk Butcher. Yes, there is actually a person called Funk Butcher, and I've made his site for him using Headway, so you could check him out. And I'm going to add a featured image here, and I'm just going to press publish, and I'm going to press view project. What's happened is you can't actually see what's happening here. It's telling us whoops, page not found. So what I can do is I'm going to go to settings, permalinks, and I'm going to make sure that I save this appropriately. So I'm going to save this as post name. Now let me go back to projects and let me go and view this. And here we go. We have our featured image on the side here. Now, we don't want the featured image on the side. How do we get rid of this featured image? Well, we can do that pretty easily by going into Headway. And what we want to do is we want to click here and we want to click on single, and as you could see, project is now a custom post type within Headway. So we can click edit, and what we want to do is we want to mimic the front page. Okay, so we can clone this layout, and what we can do is we can replace this content block. So I'm going to switch this block type to a content block again, and I'm going to make it show the default behavior. I'm going to go to display, and I can get it to show the title, which I am, but I'm going to get the featured image taken out. So I'm going to press featured image out, and let's press save there. Let me refresh and see what we have. So we have Funk Butcher here. Let me go back into WordPress. Oh, sorry, let me go back into Headway, and I'm going to click on the I'm going to go into the design view, and I'm going to make sure that this content block is going to have like a margin. So I'm going to put maybe 150 pixel margin on the top, and I'm going to center this. Let's see, I want this to be 56 pixels, and I want it to be centered like that. Okay, so I'm going to press save. Now let's go here and let's refresh, and now we have Funk Butcher. And now we can start putting in some content. So you can see by just harnessing the power of Headway, we can get more of a custom look with our pages. So let's click on edit this project, and let's click on use the Divi Builder. And I'm going to add a row, and I'm going to have 2 columns here, and I'm going to insert a module of an image. So let me see, image, and again I'm going to use the scale, save image, and with my text module I'm going to do things like I'm going to add some text here. So I'm going to say type website client Funk Butcher, oops, year 2013, and I'm going to keep that like that. I'm going to just bold this. I'm going to make it a bit cute. I'm going to press save, and then underneath it I'm going to put a call to action to say visit site or something like that. Take the background out, I'm going to make it dark, and here I can click on the advanced settings, and sometimes when you hover over the button it gives you a icon. I don't really like that, so I can just choose to have that icon off, and I can press save and exit. Now if I update the page and I have a look, I've now got, you know, a slight idea of, you know, what I can do with my custom post types. So I don't really have to worry about putting any custom fields in now, because I can literally just use this, and I can save this to library, and I can call this now my projects template, my projects layout. I can save that, update it, and then I'm going to add a new project now, and I'm going to call it Diane Laidlaw, and I'm going to use the Divi Builder, load from library, and instead of using the predefined layouts, I'm going to go to the add from library section, and I'm going to load that project's layout here. Okay, and then all I would need to do is just change the image, save, update, go in here, and then I can just change the text. So that is just super easy, right? Let's press save and exit, and let's publish. I forgot to add a featured image, so let's make sure that we add that in there. Okay, so now let me have a view the project. Now I've got my image, and I can press here to view the site. Now, I was talking to you about the projects module that they have. So I'm going to click on team, and I'm going to click here where it says edit page. It looks like I may have done some work before on this page, so I'm going to clear the layout, and I'm going to have a standard section, and I'm going to insert one column here. Click again to insert the module, and I'm going to add the filterable portfolio, and it asks us whether we want it full width or whether we want a grid. So I'm going to put down grid, and I'm just going to press save and update that, so then we can see what that looks like on the front end. So let's click view, and now we have our grid here. Now if I was to categorize these, which I'm going to do now, I'm going to go into categories, and I'm just going to quickly put in girl, boy, and I'm going to go to all projects. I'm going to quick edit this into a boy, and quick edit this to a girl. Now if we go here and we refresh, we now have boy and girl, and we can click here and it will just show us the boy, click here and it will show us the girl. And we can obviously customize the look of this, so we can go back into, oh, where are we, edit page. Got too many tabs open now, and we can choose to, you know, get rid of the categories there. We can have pagination and etc, etc. So let's save and exit and update that. I'm gonna get rid of all the other tabs because it's driving me crazy. View page, and you see now we have our filterable portfolio. So there are a bunch of things that we can add here. Let me just put that as 2 columns. We can add a contact form if we want to, and let's press save, update, refresh. Got the contact form here. We can add a widget area if we want to, so let's scroll to where it says sidebar, and we can choose a widget area, but there isn't one there yet, so we're going to press save and exit, update. Now if we go to appearance and widgets, there should be an area where we can create a widget now. So I can call this projects, let's see, projects, create that in there, and let's refresh, and now we've got our project section. I can put in categories, I can put in recent posts, whatever. Okay, let me go back to the testing section here, and in our sidebar I can just choose where it says projects, widget area, projects, and let's press save. Let's update that and view the page, and now we have our widget area there. So there's all different ways that you can customize this plugin. It's very, very easy to use. The only thing that I would say that I've noticed is that if I have a text block, for instance, so I'm going to add, let's say I'm going to add a text block here. Let me update that. Go here and refresh. We got our text block here. Now, usually, if I use the advanced settings and I change the font size, if I press save and update, if I refresh, it doesn't change the font size. And the reason why is because the font size seems to be determined by Headway, which in some ways is actually much better if it's determined by Headway than if it's determined by Divi. Because the issue is, once you determine what your general font size is going to be, or your H1 tags are going to be, your H2 tags, H3 tags, you only have to do it in one place. Whereas if you was using the Divi Builder, then you would have to remember, okay, my H1s are 44 pixels and my paragraph sizes are 14 pixels. So you would need to basically go in and change the text block to, you know, whatever the sizes are, and that could be annoying sometimes. Because you may not always remember. So it's good that you have that opportunity to actually go into Headway. So if I went into Headway now, went to the design view, okay, I can click here where it says global styling, and I can change that text to, you know, whatever I want. Press save. Let's go to paragraph. This is actually a content block, so I need to go into the body text, edit that, and I can just change the text from here. You can see. We can also change all our body hyperlinks. So we can change the color of that to whatever we need to. And press view site. I don't know why that didn't change. Let's see if I can do it in here. Color pink. Important. Or we can take that out. Just update. We change this one back down to 14. Press save. So really it's just about trying to see where you can get the control. So here, as you see with the portfolio section, I was unable to change the text coloring. So the title here, I'm unable to change that here. I was unable to change it in Headway. If I go into advanced design settings, I could possibly change it here. I'm assuming that I can. So let me change the color to, let's say, a red, and let's see if I could change the size. I think I can. Let's just see. Let's update. Again, this is all on the fly, people. This only got released a couple of hours ago, so there will be bugs in it, but I think you understand the general gist of where I'm trying to get out in regards to marrying these two programs together. So yep, as you can see, the text has changed, and we have managed to change the color as well. So I really don't know what else to say about Divi apart from buy it, use it in your projects. Let me know how you've got on. I was lucky enough to train somebody a couple of weeks ago on using Divi, and they love it completely, and they've been thanking me ever since. So if you can, marry these two programs together, have fun with these two programs. It will literally speed up your design process really quickly. And from what I'm hearing, there's also going to be a developers documentation plugin. So all of you developers out there who are interested in designing your own blocks or your own modules, you can do so now with this Divi Builder. So I hope all of that makes sense to you. I know I kind of waffled on a little bit in this tutorial and it wasn't as funny as I usually do them, but I really think that you should have a try of this plugin. Let me know how you feel about it, and I will see you on the other side. Bye.